It's the day after Nebraska's awful, eye-opening blowout loss to the Iowa Hawkeyes 16-40, and man, oh man, over these past couple hours, I painfully rewatched the game, looked over the stats, and I've come up with 5 massive nuggets that we learned in yesterday's disgraceful performance. And the big question, where do the Huskers go from here, and what do we do with this team, the coaching staff, and most importantly, Matt Rhule? So really quick, this will be a brutally honest video. We are not going to hold back. I will talk about everything. Trust me, hit that like button if you're fired up. And also, the offseason is officially here. And listen, this is the only channel on Nebraska YouTube that posts daily content, talking transfer portal, talking recruiting, talking coaching carousel. It is about to get busy in December and January. If you want to stay informed with your favorite team, and you also want to help us hit 15,000 subscribers, it's no brainer. Take seconds, join the family, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much. But without further ado, we have a lot to talk about. I'm not going to hold back today about yesterday's disgraceful, embarrassing blowout loss to the Iowa Hawkeyes 16-40, a score that doesn't even sound real, but yet it's very real. It's a stark reminder of how far away this program truly is. I'm not going to hold back in regards to the future of this team, the coaching staff, and most importantly, Matt Rhule, and changes that need to be made. Let's start off with Matt Rhule. Quick disclaimer, once again, I'm going to tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. And this is what you need to hear. I told you guys last week after our awful blowout loss to Penn State, which was not as bad as what we saw yesterday. I told you guys that take your opinions out of the equation. Take Nebraska out of the equation. When you ask Big Ten fans, SEC fans, NFL fans what they think of Matt Rhule, he is widely considered a joke. Matt Rhule is widely considered in this country a fraud. Everybody was celebrating, and not only Nebraska fans, but opposing fans were celebrating when Nebraska extended him. They said we were making a huge mistake. And at the time, Husker fans were defending the decision, saying, oh, you don't know how good Matt Rhule is. He's transforming this program. Seems like those people were right. And I told you guys that last week. People were going at me. They said, well, Matt Rhule's very much improved, that he's still doing good things. He's still taking this program to a different level. Okay. Do you still have that opinion after what you saw yesterday? So let's talk about what Matt Rhule isn't. We know that Matt Rhule can't win the big game. I would argue Matt Rhule can't beat a team with a pulse. His best Big Ten win at Nebraska was in year 1 against Northwestern. So haven't really made any progress in the Big Ten. His best win this season against Cincinnati. At the time, we thought that was a terrible win. He can't fire anybody. Part of your job as a head coach is to make tough decisions. He has never made any tough decisions. He demoted Mark Satterfield, who's still on the staff. He demoted Ed Foley. And newsflash, this is what the media doesn't want to tell you, but he was forced into those decisions by the administration, by the boosters. If Matt Rhule had it his way, probably both those guys would still be offense coordinator and special teams coordinator. That's the way it goes. Because Matt Rhule can't make tough decisions. He doesn't bench anybody. He doesn't make in-game adjustments. Matt Rhule has never won a game at Nebraska in which we were down at halftime. Says a lot about him. We know that he's too busy doing all these podcasts, all these side quests all the time, going on Pat McAfee, talking about recruiting, talking about runs, talking about music. He's talking about anything but this football team. In the middle of the season, I don't care if you do those podcasts in February. I really don't. But I told you guys when he announced that podcast, and I got a lot of flack for it at the time. I said, you know what? That podcast, it is what it is. But I'm telling you, if you have a stinker season, if you lose any of these ball games, people are going to go at you for it. And that's exactly what's going on. And he deserves it. Because he's too busy having podcasts with twins with funny looking glasses, talking about who knows what, rather than prepare for Iowa, because it's clear this team is never prepared on game day. They're never prepared. When have you looked at Nebraska this year and said, oh, this team looks really ready to go? That's never been the case, ever. So we already knew that about Matt Rhule, but yet last week people said, well, Matt Rhule's still making progress in a couple areas, that he's a great developer. Well, that's not the case. Okay, that was the whole thing about Matt Rhule. He's a developer. He brings the best out of his players. How can you say that? Who's gotten better in Nebraska from last year to this year? Seriously, think about it. Who's gotten better besides maybe Emmett Johnson, right? Emmett's got better. But Dylan, did Dylan get any better from year 1 to year 2 in his career? I don't think so. The offensive line got worse. The defensive line got worse. Dane got here as one of the most productive players in the SEC, came here and was completely incompetent. A waste of money. Vincent Shavers got worse. Jacory Barney got worse. So the whole perception that Matt Rhule is this great developer, well, that's not the case. That's not the case. He's clearly not evaluating great talent in the transport either. So he's not a good developer, at least not as good as what the media like to tell you. All the talk around the culture all the time. Matt Rhule's culture at Nebraska is so great. That's not the case either. This culture is soft. Okay. Once again, we have never had a comeback halftime victory in Matt Rhule's entire tenure at Nebraska. Okay. Oh, but at least we're winning close games this year. We won a close game versus Maryland. We won a close game versus Michigan State. Newsflash, those games should have never been close to begin with. It's a joke that we even had a one score, win against those teams. Those teams are terrible. That was writing on the wall how bad the season was going to be. And it's funny that at the time, I told you guys that Maryland one was embarrassing. And people were going at me. They said, well, it's great we won a one-score game. Maryland's terrible. And again, that told you at the time how this season was going to be. So again, this culture is soft. They need everything to go their way in order to win. If there's any adversity early in the ballgame, they'll lose. Recruiting, I mean, this is the worst recruiting class in the history of the program, from quantity and quality. And the only reason why the 27 class looks good is because of Trey Taylor and his peer recruiting. If he wasn't here, it'd be just as bad. Trust me on that one, because I know recruiting. If there's anything I know recruiting, and I know that. We also know that he can't recruit inside the state of Nebraska, that there's multiple burnt bridges, particularly in Omaha, because he doesn't step foot in any of these high schools. And we also know that, the only reason why we like the Matt Rhule extension at the time is because of continuity. Well, are you okay with just having a below average or maybe even average head coach who loses in Iowa every year? Okay, I was cool with the extension because of continuity. But with continuity comes having a coach who's very flawed. Are you okay? Are you okay with getting blown out versus Iowa in year 3? Just for the sake of continuity. Again, reminder that Scott Frost never got blown out versus Iowa. He lost to Iowa every single year, but he only lost by 7, 6, 3 points. He never got blown out like that. So again, how much progress have we truly made? And you know what's funny? I was thinking about this last night. What are the only 2 good things that really happened this season? Think about it for a second. I think I know my 2. What are the 2 good things that happened this season from a player standpoint, a team standpoint? Think about it for a second. I would say Emmett Johnson and Mike Ekeler. But you know what's funny? Both of those pieces of the team, Matt Rhule tried to sabotage. Matt Rhule did not want Emmett Johnson to come back. Or, I mean, he did. He definitely wanted Emmett Johnson to come back, but he also wanted Ahmad Hardy. And Dana Holgorsen had to sit him down in December and say, you know what, we need Emmett back. Do not go after any other running back transfer because we got our guy. It's clear Emmett Johnson's going to be a Heisman guy, going to be an All-Big Ten guy, and Matt Rhule didn't believe him. Matt Rhule was not convincing Emmett Johnson. And that was seen last year when Matt Rhule decided to put in everybody but Emmett Johnson in the ballgame. So Matt Rhule botched the Emmett Johnson situation. If it weren't for Dana, he would have left. And also, we know that Mike Ekeler transformed the special teams. Matt Rhule didn't want to hire Mike Ekeler. He said multiple times that he thought Mike Ekeler was a celebrity coach. He didn't want to hire him at the beginning. He didn't want to hire him after the interview. But he was convinced by the administration and other Nebraska coaches to hire him. So the only 2 bright points from the season, Matt Rhule almost took away with his incompetency. Those are the facts. Again, you don't have to like it, but those are the facts. Also, here's some statistics for you. Again, we never won a game down at halftime in the entire Matt Rhule era. He's 0-8 versus ranked teams. He's 2-10 in the month of November. We can't win as the season progresses. This team gets worse, not better, going into the end of the year. Kirk Ferentz has more Big Ten wins at Memorial Stadium than Matt Rhule. Kirk Ferentz has 7. Matt Rhule has 6. That says a lot. And you know what's also funny? Matt Rhule said that after Carolina, that he got better as a coach because, he got publicly fired as one of the worst coaches in the history of the NFL, that made him a better coach. Really, when you get fired like that and it's that public and it's that embarrassing, you either do become a better coach, you become stronger, or you crumble. And I think he didn't become stronger. I think it was the latter. So the whole, Carolina made him better, really? Did it really? Because this is not Baylor football. This is not Temple football. So listen, to wrap it all up, talking Matt Rhule, get to the other segments. Matt Rhule clearly deceived us all, man. I mean, he's lied to our face since he got here. He lied to us about Jeff Sims, All-American quarterback never was. He lied to us about the offensive line this year. He told you all offseason, to your face, the offensive line would be a pillar of this team. He told you the defensive line at Big Ten Media Days would be hell on wheels. He told you Raiola would be this great quarterback. He told you the big year 3 jump is coming. Okay? Clearly, I mean, he knows how to be a politician. He does. He knows how to lie to you. So, again, when a person shows you who they truly are, you got to believe them. And my big question to you guys, we know Matt Rhule's going to say, I'm not calling for Matt Rhule to be fired. I'm not. But what do you think's going to change? Even if we get brand new coordinators, brand new coaches everywhere, brand new talent, like Matt Rhule can't get these guys prepared. Matt Rhule can't adjust mid-game. Matt Rhule can't fight through adversity. Matt Rhule can't recruit. Again, at some point in year 3, you got to kind of point the finger at him, man. So, listen, if Matt Rhule's going to be here, which is fine, he's got to make some tough decisions for the first time in his career. Or else, again, very quickly, people are going to flip out on him. And I think the majority of the fan base, they're sick and tired of it. That's just the tough reality. They're sick and tired of Matt Rhule. But that's the conversation around him. Now let's get to the coaching staff because, the coaching staff isn't any better. Let's talk about the game from yesterday specifically. Okay, Dana Holgorsen. One of the biggest disappointments maybe in the history of the program, the whole offensive guru thing that never loved to be the case. Awful game plan, only put up 16 points. Emmett Johnson carried the offense all year long. If it weren't for Emmett, we'd probably be 3-9. We probably would have been one of the worst teams in America if Emmett Johnson did in fact transfer. Red zone play calling has been awful all year, was awful yesterday. Red zone efficiency, or red zone third down situational play calling, all of which terrible. No vertical passing attack. We barely threw the football downfield. No chunk plays, no development. There's not much Dana gives us confidence in. John Butler, clearly he's in over his head. Another bad hire by Matt Rhule, somebody with no experience that Matt Rhule said, he's going to figure it out. It's not the case. Not the case. He hasn't figured out anything. Gave up 40 points to Iowa. I can't believe I've even saying that. 40 points to Iowa. It doesn't even sound real. We gave up a 40 burger to the Iowa Hawkeyes. This John Butler guy stinks. He stinks. Hey, John, you've only been a defensive coordinator once before in your career, and you were begging to become a defensive coordinator up until Nebraska. Have you ever thought that the reason why you weren't in DC is because you really aren't a good coach to begin with? You're a good secondary coach, I give you credit, but some coaches are only meant to be secondary coaches. They're only meant to be positional coaches. You weren't ready for this. Okay. Worst defensive line in the history of the program. Awful secondary performance yesterday. Mark Gronowski ripped us apart. Okay, we couldn't stop the run at all. Once again, per usual. No adjustments ever. Terry Brain, awful. He should be fired. Donnie Raiola, awful. He should be fired. Akil Short's awful. Wide receivers regressed. These positional coaches are terrible. And once again, I blame Matt Rhule because Matt Rhule made those hires. Matt Rhule was the one who hired Terry Braden, another coach who's completely inexperienced, who's in over his head, who's never been a full-on defensive line coach before, but we hired him because, he's the Chiefs guy, right? These hires are horrific, dude. Just horrific. And again, it's crazy. It's crazy. I feel like a broken record. Let's talk about the offense yesterday. Wide receivers, once again, can't get open. Dane had 3 drops. Thank goodness he's gone because he's been a waste of money all year long. Dane in his entire career at Nebraska never had a Big Ten game with over 60 receiving yards. Yeah, so he was obviously horrific. Jacory Barney, the milk carton man. I mean, he regressed in a big way. We thought he was all going to break out this year. Wasn't the case. Was not the case. Nyziah Hunter only had 1 catch yesterday, and yet he was still our best receiver all year long. And he wasn't even phenomenal. Luke Lindenmeyer should not be our starting tight end next year. He was awful. He's been awful all year. So the receivers stunk. Offensive line honestly didn't even play that bad yesterday, funny enough. Like, we gave up 0 sacks in the day. They made some holes for Emmett, but it's still funny. When the offensive line breaks out, the whole team around them crumbles. As for TJ, I mean, like it or not, man, TJ's the future. Like it or not. Was he great yesterday? No. But of all the reasons on our laundry list that we lost, he was not even top 5. Okay, he had some nice accuracy at times, right? Beautiful fade ball to Quinn Clark. Beautiful throw on the run to Dane that was dropped. Again, he had the sense to throw multiple balls away, something Dylan Ryland never did. So again, has TJ been decent? I mean, yeah, I'd say so. I'd say him. But again, there's not much he can do. What do you expect TJ to do? The whole team's crumbling. The receivers can't catch. The offensive line can't block. Like, do you expect TJ to throw the ball and catch it himself? People are just so hard on TJ for no reason. And you guys know me, I'm a big TJ fan. I love that family. That family's been very good to the channel. Those guys are friends of the channel. Okay, friends of me. But I'll also tell you, I hope you know this. I hope you have confidence in me to know. I'll keep it real with you. TJ's not playing well, I'll tell you. And again, TJ's been fine. He's not the reason why we're losing. It's everything but, and it really falls on the coaching staff. And again, you can feel whatever way you want about Dylan, but just know this. Dylan yesterday probably would have threw multiple picks. TJ never threw a pick in 3 games with Nebraska. Never threw a pick. Dylan probably would have threw multiple. Dylan would have took like 5 sacks yesterday. TJ took 0. 0 sacks. Again, TJ threw the ball away. And also, you can be on the Dylan fan club. It is what it is. Just know Dylan's quitting on the team. Just know he ain't even gonna be here in a couple of days. So you don't have to be on TJ's, on the TJ train, but he's your quarterback whether you like it or not because Dylan quit on the squad. And TJ's humbled. TJ's confident. So he's the future whether you like it or not. Defense, 40 points to Iowa is completely embarrassing. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Defensive line, worst in the history of the program. Terry Brain, once again, should be fired. He should be fired. If Matt Rose any stones, he should publicly apologize for hiring somebody who's in over his head, who clearly was not ready for the moment, he has no experience to begin with. He was an assistant defensive line coach of the Chiefs. He barely did anything over there. But we thought it was going to work out. Like, no, can't recruit either. So again, if he wants to make some tough decisions, get rid of Terry Brain. He's awful. Secondary, worst performance of the year. Give 166 yards to Mark Gronowski. Rex Guthrie, he looks like he's Isaac Gifford 2.0 out there. He can't do anything. Can't tackle, can't cover. It'll be a bad scenario if he's a day 1 star going next year because he's not good. He just isn't. Donovan Jones, highs and lows. Cedar Wright honestly had the worst game of his career at Nebraska, which is awful because that was his last regular season game. But I don't even want to blame Cedar because he actually had a good career here. Secondary. Again, I'm just depressed even talking about this defense, man. I don't even know how you can give up 40 points to Iowa. That tells you how far this program has truly fell. And again, the fact that Scott Frost never lost Iowa in this fashion, but Matt Rose in year 3, says a lot. Says a lot about our head coach, all the progress that we've made. And again, I don't even want to blame the players at this point. I'll keep it real with the players. Like, their players just aren't good enough. I think there's no player on this defensive line who's any good. I wouldn't be mad if the entire defensive line left in the portal. But I can't even blame the players because it's the coaching staff that's not doing anything. It's the coaching staff that getting paid tens of $millions to develop, to recruit, to game plan, to adjust. And all these guys are in over their heads. And Matt Rhule sits there after every press game, game in his press conference, and he says, you know what? I apologize to everybody. I thought we had a great week of practice. This, that, and the third. And he says, oh, we're going to adjust, we're going to change, and we never do. Words are words. Actions are actions. And Matt Rhule is all about words, not actions. That's why he has a podcast, for crying out loud. That's why he's too busy talking on the mic rather than actually doing his job. Okay, talking to the mic is reserved for people like me. People like me who I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach. But maybe I should be, because, again, I have just as many ranked wins as Matt Rhule does in Nebraska. This is the way it is. All right, let's talk about where we go from here, man. Where we go, because it's a devastating loss. And the big question is, right now, have we made any progress? Have we made any progress, truly? Have we? That's my question to you. Have we made any progress? Really? Scott Frost never lost to Iowa in that fashion, ever. Iowa's not getting any better. They're stagnant. The same team every year. So it tells you if Scott Frost only lost to Iowa by 6, 7, 3 points, and we just lost to him by 24 in year 3, tells you we're going down. Tells you a lot. And once again, we had the easiest schedule of the Big Ten. If we didn't have the easiest schedule of the Big Ten, what do you think would have happened this year? We would have won 4 games. We would have won 3 games. And then in that case, Matt Rhule would have been fired. But thank goodness we gave him that extension, right? Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Every game we actually won this year was a close ball game. But thank goodness we gave him that extension, right? Troy Dane, another guy who this fan base needs to be very mad at. So, again, we know who this team is, right? We have a team who does have talent. I don't think talent's an issue. We spent millions of dollars on this roster, $25 million for it to look like that. Talent's not an issue. It's development, physicality. We're not prepared. We don't adjust. We have no identity, and we've barely gotten by. We would have went 4-8 with a harder schedule. With the Wisconsin schedule, we went 4-8. Just the way it is. So I will forever remember this year as the year 3 hoax, unfortunately. Again, we all had expectations. We thought we were going to win a big game. We thought we were going to win 9 games, 10 games. We only won 7. What do you think is going to happen next year? Okay, we fell short of every single expectation that we set. What do you think is going to happen next year with the hardest schedule in the Big Ten? Seriously. If we couldn't even win 8 games this year, next year we'd play Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana. We play Illinois. We play Washington. What do you think is going to happen next year? Seriously. So I know one thing. Matt Rhule's not a good enough coach. That's been pretty evident to everybody. But he gonna make change. I know that. I have confidence in one thing. There's gonna be a completely new team next year. From things I've already heard. And we'll talk about more as these weeks progress. But I can tell you for a fact, it'll be a brand new roster, whether you like it or not. There will be bad players who leave, who you sit there and say, you know what, I'm glad that player's gone. And there's also gonna be some good players who leave. Say, oh man, of all the players I want to see leave, he was number 1 on my list, who I didn't want to see go. So there will be good players who leave, bad players who leave. That's the transfer portal nowadays. That's what happens when Matt Rhule has lost the support of the team. We'll have multiple coaches who leave, who get fired. I do expect that to happen. I do expect Don Raiola to be fired. I do expect Terry Braden to be fired. Because Matt Rhule's going to be forced into it. And you know what? Next year's going to be make or break a year. We got to go all in. Because I'll tell you what, right now, if you don't win 6 games next year, if you miss a bowl game, which is a very real possibility with our schedule, if you miss a bowl game, I don't know how Matt Rhule can come back from that. I don't. With that, even with the extension, we'll find a way to pay that buyout. We could fire with cause. There's some stuff behind the scenes that we could probably get him for cause, really. And stuff I don't even want to reveal, but there's been some shenanigans going on. As you'd imagine, I mean, the program's so corrupt. There's always shenanigans. There's always something. And there's some rumors, right? But Matt Rhule has to be coaching for his job. And it starts with making tough decisions. It starts with firing these coaches. It starts with completely overhauling this roster. I want him to go into the bowl game. We're not going to go to a very good bowl game, but I want him to go into that bowl game coaching for his job, literally. Not because he's going to be fired, but because it will change the entire offseason. If he wins that bowl game, it gives us a little bit of hope. Just a little glimmer of hope. But if you lose that bowl game against probably a former Pac-12 team, the fan base is out on you, man. And you're going to have a very tough offseason to recruit. I mean, the recruiting will be out of the blue. The recruiting's gone. The fan base is out on you. And there's going to be national pundits predicting Nebraska will win 5 games. And that's where we start to have some tough conversations. So overall, man, I'm sad. But the day after, honestly, I'm not even mad anymore. I'm just really disappointed. I'm disappointed because this is not what I expected. This is not what anybody expected. And I'm at the point where in Matt Rhule's entire tenure, I felt like I saw progress. I felt like I saw the direction we're going in. Yesterday was the first day where I said, you know what, this might not work. And I don't see it anymore. I don't see what the path is anymore. Because if you lost Iowa in that fashion, you lost Penn State in that fashion, lost Minnesota in that fashion, it's clear it's bigger than talent. It's bigger than the coaching staff. We have a head coach who's not ready to go. And it's not getting any better. And he's here for the long haul. It starts with him and it ends with him. Matt Rhule, balls in your court. We'll see if you do anything. But we got to start having some tough conversations. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts down below about everything. Do not hold back. Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far, hit that like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go Bear Red, go Met Roll, and I'll see you in the next one.